claim that stage behind. A lot of nice spaces out this evening. This is good. From a young age, I've always loved meeting new people. Stranger danger wasn't really a thing taught around my house. Instead, our dad offered the advice that strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. Which my mom wasn't too keen on. But for me, it's an important lesson that I will always remember, because it's one of the last memories I have of my father. That's funny. So the reason it's one of the last memories I have of my father is because when I was 6 years old, a stranger kidnapped me. And it wasn't that bad. Like, he was a pretty cool guy. And my dad was totally right. He started as a stranger, but Daryl and I are really good friends. And he was a cool guy. He taught me a lot of things that a 6-year-old should know, like how to play a good game, like Duck, Duck, Grey Duck. Because if he was truly a monster, he would have taught me like messed up, deranged games that you probably shouldn't teach 6-year-olds, like Duck, Duck, Goose. And Duck, Duck, Grey Duck's a great game for kids. You know, it teaches them everything they need to do to be a successful human being. It teaches them about colors and numbers and how to turn a friendly game into something that's unnecessarily competitive. But one day, Daryl and I were fishing, and that goofball, he knocked me overboard into the water. And then he thought it would be funny to drive away in the boat. And so I had to swim to shore by myself, and he couldn't find his way back or something. And it sucks because I never did see Daryl again. But I did make a lot of cool new friends at the police station. However, I didn't like them that much. They kept trying to tell me that I had something called Stockholm Syndrome, which I'm pretty sure is not true because Daryl never took me to Sweden. To his credit, he did take me to an IKEA once, and I picked up a Skirfblurgen, and I got to spend a lot of time kind of assembling this, because I'd never been to IKEA and I didn't know the whole you self-assemble. And between the time it took to set it up and how spacious it made my room, I completely forgot that I was locked in a linen closet. The other reason I knew I didn't have Stockholm Syndrome is because Daryl would never do that to a person. He is the kindest, gentlest, honest human being. Also, he's just really, really misunderstood, you guys. He's a great guy. Learned something new the other day. So the phrase, to use your noodle, it means to use your brain. Because I was under the impression it meant to use your penis. Honest mistake, I didn't have a father in my life to teach me that noodle means brain. And school was really tough for me. Do you know how hard it is to do long division using just your wiener? Multiply, on the other hand, that I can do with my noodle. I was in Target the other day with my wife, and as bored husbands do, I just kind of made an offhand comment and said, you know, I'm happy Christmas is over. And this lady walking in the opposite direction, she's got the cart, she's talking on her cell phone. She thinks this is a perfect time to weigh in on our conversation, so she parks her cart and looks at me, and I'm not one to turn down conversation with strangers. So she's talking on her phone, and she says, Larry, hold on, this guy needs to hear my opinion. And she looks at me and she says, you are such a Scrooge. Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge, the guy who learns his lesson, changes his ways, and becomes the most charitable guy in town. I'm a Scrooge. Whatever, you are such a Grinch. Oh, the guy who also learned his lesson at the end of the story, his heart grew 3 times, and he's the nicest ambassador of Christmas in the world. I'm him. Whatever. Larry, this guy is rude. And off she went. How messed up is it that we call people Scrooge or Grinch and completely forget the purpose and the ending of the story? If we forgot the endings of other things, let's take transport. A great way to cross the Atlantic, take the Hindenburg. I like predictability, so I got married. And when you're married, you get to do a lot of cool stuff, like go to Olive Garden and pretend it's a real date. And with Olive Garden, you always know what you're getting. You're getting yourself into a wonderful meal. Except for last time I was there, I was kind of caught off guard because we get seated at our table and there's going to be a computer in the middle of the table. And that computer is going to be used to order drinks or order extra food. But what's kind of weird and creepy in a way is that there was a camera in it. And it really didn't tell you why there was a camera in it. But it explains Olive Garden's new slogan. Olive Garden, when you're here, your family is probably being surveilled. The other cool feature was that there was a call server button. I really, really, really wanted to push it, but my wife prevented me from doing so. Thankfully, though, a guy a couple tables over must have pushed it because his device started blinking and making noise by like whoever's cell phone that is, and just, of course it's you. And so his device just starts lighting up like a Christmas tree, this bright red strobe light, and you can't really argue with the results because it let the server know right away, as well as the rest of the restaurant, that the guy at table 16 is an impatient asshole. So after we paid and we were leaving, we had to walk by table 16. My wife just head down booked it right by. But while I was walking by, the guy grabbed my arm, and I turned around, and he said, "Hi, Greg." And I turned to my wife, and I said, "Honey, you got to get back here. It's my old buddy, Daryl."
Luke Green, everybody!